The other day, when I made a video about this little artist book, I promised that I would show you some tips and tricks for getting a nice, clear, gel medium transfer decal, right? So, let's do that today. What you're going to need is some images to transfer. I am using this sheet from Canvas Corp. This is called Cameras on Ivory, and it has all these fabulous old camera images. And the medium I'm using, you can use gel medium. I've used both regular gel and soft gel. You can use either one. What does work best is a gloss medium. If all you have is matte medium, and I'm talking about, you know, this kind of stuff, soft gel matte medium, this will work. Matte is not ideal. Gloss is better because it gives you a more clear, transparent decal, but this will work. What I prefer to use is a product called Omni Gel, this stuff, and it's made by Speedball. So if your art supply store doesn't carry Omni Gel, but they carry Speedball products, they can probably get this for you. I got this at Jerry's Artorama. They did not have the Omni Gel, but they do carry Speedball, so they were able to order it. I mean, I had it in like maybe 3 days, and I got 2 bottles of it. I don't remember how much it was. I'm thinking $7, $8, $9 a bottle, but it'll last. Transfers is really all I use it for. I don't know much about it. Okay, it says archival quality acrylic polymer resin, image transfer texture medium, acid free, waterproof, dries clear, non-toxic, you know, whatever. This is what I've used here. This is what I like. All you do is you brush it onto your images. If I'm doing a whole thing, like a whole page like this, I just brush it over the whole page. I don't cut them out yet. So brush just a, you know, thin, even coat over the whole page. Let it dry. Brush it again, maybe going this way. Alternate your direction. Let it dry. Brush it again, going this way. I do at least 3 coats. And that's true for Omni Gel or for gel medium, you know, anything like that. Try to do at least 2 or 3 coats, because the number of layers of medium that you have is going to determine how sturdy your decal is, and you don't want it to be so thin that it just tears apart when you pick it up. So you need 2 or 3 layers. Let it dry between layers. When everything is dry, then I go in and I cut out my images. And I don't cut right up to the edge. I leave some space around them. It doesn't have to be perfect. Let's see. Like, see, here's one. This has the Omni Gel on it, which is glossy, has a gloss finish. And then I just kind of cut it out and left some space. Got a couple of these. So, after you do that, then you want to get some kind of a container of warm water, and by warm, I mean hot. I just run the hot water out of the tap and use that, so however hot that is, that's what I use. And then you're going to drop these in there and let it soak. And you're going to want them to let them soak for at least 5-10 minutes. The longer the better. This one has been soaking for longer than these others. I just put those in. So we'll start with this guy. Now it's ready to go. So what you do now is just friction with your fingers. Just start rubbing, and you're going to rub the paper backing off. And the goal here is to try to remove as much pulp as you can. And the longer you let it soak in the warm water, the easier it is. Now when you think you've got it all off of there, you don't. There are a couple of different tools you can use. I've tried all kinds of things. You have to be careful because you can rub the print off, the black part. And you don't want to do that. That's what we're trying to save. But you can gently use like an old soft toothbrush. See, that will help get some more of that pulp off. I'm going to end up tearing that off. I just know it. And you know what? I don't mind. These decals like this, if you want perfection, you're better off just photocopying your image onto like a transparency film or a piece of acetate or something. That's what you do if you want a perfect image decal. Now, if you want a not so perfect, you know, mixed media, collage-y, just go with it, then this is what you do, and then you don't freak out when you rip the whole thing in half. You just kind of piece them back together, and they look cool on your whatever you put them on. Case in point, I have one in here. This one. You can see the camera. It ripped here, got a hole there. That's okay. I went with it, glued it on. I love it. So yeah, don't freak out about it ripping. And like I said, if you are going to freak out about it, then the decal is not the way to go. You need to just transfer it onto some transparency film. Okay, another good tool for removing excess pulp is one of these, like a Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. And I'm not sure how these are available internationally or if different countries have a similar product that's a different brand. But it's a cleaning sponge. You find it where you buy your cleaning sponges and products. But it's just a very dense, foamy sponge. And what I did, you just kind of dampen it just a little bit. And then carefully, see? You can see how much more of the pulp this pulls off. It pulls off quite a bit more that you didn't even know was there. But again, it can also peel off the image itself, so be careful. Okay. Now, let's just rinse that little guy, and we'll let him dry. See, it looks pretty good. Looks like, ooh, yeah, that's really transparent. I bet I got it all off of there. Well, let's let him dry, and then we'll check and see how well we did. And while that's drying, we can start on another one. Okay, once your image is dry, you can take a look at them, and, you know, I mean, they look really good. They're really transparent. Normally, when you do a decal transfer like this, the glossy side that has the medium on it is typically the bottom. When you glue it onto your whatever, the pulp side is what you put on top. And it does actually look different, and you'll see that when you start working with them, that this side is not quite as transparent as this side. And if you're doing something like text, you got no choice but to use it glossy side up, unless you have printed something out with the text reversed. You know, then you can go there. But yeah, for images, normally this is the side that is up and your glossy medium side is down, but you can do whatever you want. So once these are done, they look like they're fairly decent. This one to me still looks a little pulpy, but this one doesn't look pulpy at all. Let's look at them on a piece of black paper, and I don't know if you can tell that they are both still pretty pulpy. This one especially, see the black? It's just hazy white. This one actually looks pretty good right in through here, but look at all these edges. See all the white around the edges? Yeah, I didn't get that part too good. So you can go one step further now and use a little bit of our favorite Daddy Van's All Natural Beeswax Furniture Polish. It helps to remove those last little fibers of pulp from your thing. So what I do, I have a brush I use to apply it. You can use a towel or a napkin or your finger or whatever you want. And then just work it into the pulp side of your decal. And that will help to sort of, okay, here's what it's doing. See, you can kind of rub on it, and sometimes you'll remove a little bit of the extra pulp, but really what it's doing is saturating that pulp. And it's just kind of like what we did with the Daddy Vans and the napkins. You know how it made them kind of transparent because it just saturated the fibers of the paper? That's what it's doing. But it will last. You know, they don't haze back up. Or I haven't had one go hazy again, you know, after leaving it for a long time. It never has. I suppose it's possible if the wax soaks in and for some reason disappears. I don't know. But, you know, if that happens, I've always got more Daddy Vans on hand, right? Now, all of that haze that was around the edges, is gone. Gone, baby, gone. For my sister. We're going up for a short impromptu visit tomorrow, and she sent me a text. She says, "Do I need to clean house and pretend we don't live like pigs for your visit? Are you okay with this just being our piggy selves?" What a ridiculous question. I wouldn't clean for her. I don't expect her to clean for me. Okay, perfect decal. This one, let's do this top part first. Yeah, it's kind of deceiving because it's got some areas that are supposed to be kind of gray. They look hazy, but they're not because it's supposed to be that way. Let's take a look on here, and you can see that it is pulp free, except for right there. Now, let's see. Sometimes if you've put the gel medium on really thick and there's some deep grooves like brush marks, the pulp will settle into those brush strokes. That's better. Not bad, huh? Okay, let's do this bottom half. Do another little comparison. And I have, on occasion, used my heat gun to kind of help the wax melt so that it flows into any of those grooves. Just be careful doing this. And the reason is because that transfer is really thin. You see just that quick shot of heat just nearly disintegrated it. Now it'll stiffen back up as it cools, but you don't want to heat these too much. They are very delicate. Now, let's take a look. See the difference? It's significant. Even when you think you've removed the majority of the pulp, you almost always haven't. You can look on a piece of black paper and you can see where you've missed. These are some I did earlier. You can see I put the Daddy Vans on this side, but not on this side, but apparently that's a thumbprint. It looks like I held it right there. It's a Daddy Vans thumbprint. But you can see the difference. And this one, I put the Daddy Vans here, but not up here. So it makes a huge difference in your pulp removal. This one had Daddy Vans all over it. It's pulp free. Pretty much anyway. Okay, so that is my tip. Just make your decals, make them sturdy, soak them in warm water, remove the pulp by whatever means you have available, your fingers, a toothbrush, some kind of a cleaning sponge. Just be careful about it. And then add a little Daddy Vans at the end to remove those last pulpy bits, and then you're good to go. Now, if you're concerned about gluing this down, because these, you know, we use these mostly for collage, and if you're worried that it's going to be a problem to glue down with all that wax on it, I have tested, believe me, I have tested all kinds of different adhesives, and the best one for gluing down stuff on a waxy surface is US Art Quest Perfect Paper Adhesive. It's not cheap, but a little bit goes a long way, and it's a good adhesive, clearly, because it will stick Daddy Vans down. So there you go. There's your tip du jour. Now just go to town and make some decals to use for collage and for layering, because it's fun, and it's especially fun with some of these papers from Canvas Corp brands. Let me show you. Every one of these would lend themselves well to gel medium transfer decals. This is called Black and Ivory Spoons, and I already showed you the cameras on ivory. Butterflies on ivory. Y'all, you can color these before you do the transfer. Most of the time, you're going to peel off all of your color. Can you color them afterwards? I don't see why not. I bet if you leave a little bit of that pulp on there, it would probably take color easily. I don't know. Somebody do it and make a video and show me. Where am I? Butterflies on ivory. Brushes on ivory. Pen and ink on ivory. They have some of these reversed, where the background is black and then the foreground is the ivory color. So that's why they've got it the on ivory thing, so you know what you're getting. And they also have them, I think, on different colors, like on white and on maybe some of them are on a craft color. So yeah, you've got options. I'll put a link. Sewing on ivory. Bon Voyage on ivory. And Black and Ivory Compass. That one's cool. Okay. So, for this little demonstration, that is all I have. The end.